I love to observe people. And I think that's what got me into photography, to have another eye to, capture those raw emotions or the feelings or whatever that is.
Where do you place yourself in this division?
When you are a photographer, right, you're exploring anything and everything. I mean, come on, otherwise, how can you find your niche? It's not the camera. It's the person who has the eye for taking pictures.
At the moment, how are the communities? Like, how are they shaping up?
You've heard this phrase, right? Opportunities arrive or knock at your door when you least expect. So don't close your doors at every opportunity. The least you will, know is you've gained some new skill, you've gained some experience, whatever that opportunity. So don't say no. Lens brings clarity to a photo, and if you follow the same 4 principles, this lens will bring clarity to your path, even if it's uncertain. Zindagi itna hi hai. Full se, live your life to the fullest, but don't repeat the same mistakes. Learn from others' mistakes, learn from their experiences, go make new mistakes.
And it's show time. Welcome everyone to this new episode of Part-Time Funkar PTF Podcast. And I'm your host Rohan, and I welcome you all to this fresh topic that we are going to have a conversation with. Today's guest is not only someone who inspires her own self through following her passion, but is a seasoned, experienced professional. I'm talking about the world of photography, where, as they say, a picture says 1,000 words. But do you think in today's market of photography, where there's competition, there's AI, and there are tons of platforms where people can find opportunities, a data study says that 70% of couples regret hiring a low quality photographer. So guys, the world of photography in itself, as I have been reading through and researching, seems to be quite complex, or I would say it is still an unorganized industry. And that's where today's guest will help us share some insights and also share her own journey as to how she started her world of entering the world of photography. Well, you may believe me or not, but it was through her obsession for landscapes, where she was capturing certain photos, and that got her an award-winning capture. And believe me, it's not always a camera that she has always been using, but a Nokia 3650 phone. Guys, in today's conversation, we are going to meet Archana Rao and discuss and know how difficult is the profession of photography for anyone who wants to get started. And we will try our best to get a roadmap for any one of you who's interested to getting started into the world of photography. So let's get started on today's episode of PTF Podcast with your host Rohan, and I have Archana Rao.
Thank you for having me on your podcast. Means a lot to me. And that was a beautiful introduction that you've given, and specifically mentioning Nokia 3650. I mean, like, not everybody remembers that.
Right. So let's actually get started with that. Like, how did all this happen? And Nokia 3650, I barely remember. It might even have like a megapixel kind of a camera, right? I guess a VGA thing.
Yes.
So what was it about? Like, if you could let our audiences know, and also if you could give a bit of an introduction of yourself as well.
Absolutely. So we'll start with the Nokia 365 obsession, right? And like you said, it's a megapixel camera. Not a camera, but it's actually a phone.
Yep.
Right? And that's when the phones with the camera it started, and that was my first ever phone with the camera. And for me, it was like, okay, there's some new feature, there's a camera, let me try it out, right? And I was just randomly clicking pictures, like how a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old, they will just take, oh, I got a new camera, right? Just take and go around it. So a bit about myself, right? I think I've already shared that part. A curious being. So I'm a very curious person, and I've been, like you said, a seasoned photographer for quite some time. And I love photography. The reason is, for me, it's not just taking pictures. I love to observe people. And I think that's what got me into photography, to have another eye to, capture those raw emotions or the feelings or whatever that is. So that's how I started. And so now, I've been in this photography industry for about 12 years. It's going to be 12 this year in March. So that kind of makes me old.
Seasoned. I use the word seasoned.
Yeah. And that's a better way to put it. Yeah.
Awesome. So you played around with the Nokia 3650 and then you got into like photography. So Archana, I have heard like experts say that in order to be a renowned photographer, or let's say a successful photographer, right, you tend to be a specialist in the world of photography, right? And what I have noticed is photographers also, there is a generalist and a specialist. Like a generalist would be someone who might capture XYZ everything, all colors, all locations, anything, right? Versus a specialist is someone who might, focus on a niche, like only something around wedding photographies, or let's say only landscape, or things like that. What has your favorable side been, and where do you place yourself in this division?
That's a great question, and I think most of the photographers can relate to this. For me, it's not the generalization or the specialization. The specialization came later, but when you are a photographer, right, you are exploring anything and everything. I mean, come on, otherwise, how can you find your niche?
Very well said. Okay.
So to find your niche, you have to kind of be all over the place, for the, putting it very casually. But that is the truth. You are shooting anything and everything, because you're trying to not just understand the camera, right? You're trying to see the world from a different perspective. That changes the entire dynamics of it. So it's like, an outdoor shoot, right? Nature is already painted, right? There's nothing much you can do, but how do you, play with the dynamics, the harsh light or cloudy day, or even forget about the harsh light. You see a beautiful scene like landscape, right? You just want to do it until you get better at it. So we all start with generalization,
right,
taking photos of anything and everything, understanding color, understanding exposure, the composition of it. To understand all of that, it has to be hands-on practical, and only then you'll be like, okay, now this is what I want.
Awesome.
This is what I want to focus on.
Yeah. So there's a progression.
Yes.
From probably a start with a generalized approach, but eventually you yourself discover.
Yes.
As you said, right? Oh, that's interesting. And having said that, like coming to your own journey and some of the key milestones, you have been an award-winning photographer, specifically for the Nature's Conservatory. So if you could share a little bit about that, was that like a planned manifestation, or was it just happened? I just caught it at the right moment, right time.
It's definitely not a planned manifestation,
Okay.
Not at all. So there's a little story behind it, right? And the story is, that's when I've got my actual DSLR, a Nikon D60, to document just my child's milestones, right?
Okay.
And like everybody else, to find my niche. We just went, I think it was my son's 5th birthday.
Okay.
We went to the Santa Rosa Zoo. And I was just casually, taking pictures of him, interacting or looking at the animals or nature. And I was like, okay, there are some animals who are already, in nature, you already find everything set for you. And I was like, okay, yeah, this antelope is like sitting in a, very calm and, very composed, not bothered by people. And I was like, okay, the way I'm seeing, how do I make others see?
Okay.
Right? Not everybody has their own perception, right? And that's when I was like, okay, theek hai, I'll just click a picture. And that was just one picture I took of the antelope. Because वो इतना प्यार से बैठा है, I didn't have to do any retakes. It's not moving. And I got the perfect picture.
Yeah.
And I didn't think much of it. And, I think it was through Flickr. I don't know if you've heard about Flickr. I know it's still around. And Flickr had these competitions for all the photographers just to encourage, right? We had these groups and everything. In those groups, there was this competitions going on, and somebody said, hey, Nature Conservancy is doing a photo contest. And I was like, Nature Conservancy, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Right.
So I just click it, and then I'm like, okay, what do I submit? What categories? And I've seen those categories, right? And then I'm like, okay, I have all these pictures, but then I have this antelope picture. It's a black and white, and I kind of did editing and everything. And it's a black and white picture. And I'm like, through hundreds of pictures, I just picked that. And I was like, this looks, it caught my eye. And I was like, theek hai, try karte hai. What's the harm, right? At least you're participating. And there's constructive criticism, feedback and everything. And I wanted to know all of that. I was like, theek hai, chalo, we will just post on it. And I just left it. I didn't think about it at all. And then I get an email saying ki, your picture has been selected. I'm like, huh? What? Is this really true? I'm like reading through it. I'm like, wow.
Awesome.
So I didn't manifest that at all. It was just sheer luck, I would say.
That's interesting. Wow. And so have you kind of hung the picture at your home because it got an award or something?
Oh,
or?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It stays proudly on my wall.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Among all the other pictures too.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. So about your journey, and this is now thinking of the viewers. With your journey, probably someone might relate to it and probably get started into the world of photography, right? So you have been doing a lot of event photography, and you come across various clients and customers. In the current market scenario, what are a few things that you found have started working out for you to get maybe more gigs? Is it probably maintaining a very polished Instagram or a social media handle, or has it been a thought process about probably building relations or networks, or maybe a community? What's Archana's go-to, if you can spill the beans?
Yeah, I love that question that you asked, because a lot of times both clients and photographers, we are clueless, right? Because we are trying to get as many gigs as possible.
Yeah.
We are all trying to survive. For some, it's a part-time. For some, it's a full-time. So for me, at least, I can speak is it's not just about the volume. For me, it's the relations that I make. It's the commitment that I make. It's the bond. It's not just a one-time event. I met you and I met at an event and your pictures are done. It's not, for me, it's not transactional. For me, I like to build that relationship so that, over time, with most of my clients, I hate to call them clients because they're all my friends. So that's the kind of relationship I build. So it's not just the volume, it's the quality that I don't like to compromise on. And that's how I kind of build my network or nurture the relationships.
Right. And in this photography industry, I personally don't think there has been ever a better time to be a photographer, irrespective of whether you are a woman or a man. However, with your experience in the recent times or past, is there still any preconceived notions, or is there a stigma or a challenge that in this, division of like a female photographer versus a male photographer, are there any preferences, you would say?
Not, thankfully, not in today's generation, today's world. We have definitely, paved our path in many different fields, and photography is nothing new to that as well. Definitely, when I ventured into this field, when I started, I had to not just take pictures, but I also had to, convince people that why me? Because I was the only South Asian woman, not just a woman. There are women photographers in the field, they were established, and it's not just women in there, but yes, it is still a male dominated industry, and not a lot of women got into it, especially being a South Asian. So when I ventured into that, and that's another story I would love to tell, how I ventured into it. But yes, so it was hard. It wasn't an easy bed of roses for me. I had to prove my worth. I had to tell people that, hey, it's not just, what you see on Instagram is what you get. Because Instagram, again, you're painting a wall. You don't know the real story. You don't know the real picture.
Fact.
And you cannot just hire anyone, right? It's not just a photographer. Anyone in the service industry. You cannot just look at the Instagram and say, that's the person I want to go. That's the person I want to hire, because I can get those 10 beautiful pictures posted on Instagram. But to know whether that's your photographer, you need to ask specific questions. There are set of specific questions that I would love for my clients to ask, because that's when they know the depth. There are photographers. I just want gigs to make a quick buck, and yes, I'm just gonna come. I have a good gear. I'm gonna come, take pictures, and go, and done.
Right.
But that's not how it works.
So you had your own way of dealing with such situations.
Yes.
And coming to the how part, how did you venture into, as you were saying, like that's another story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where do I begin?
Okay.
So if if you look at me, most of you, if you look at me and with a camera in my hand, you think, I'm sure this is the path you always chose. But my career didn't start in photography. It started in sales.
In sales?
In sales.
Wow, okay, that's
completely different.
A good start to the story.
So it started in sales, and I worked for a marketing firm as a sales representative. And there I learned how to negotiate, how to close deals, how to read people, the nitty-gritty things that you need for a salesperson, observing and everything. But I faced what most of us immigrants went through, the H-1 visa realities. And it was a tough one. And at that time, it was all about IT. And I come from a very non-IT background. Mine is all business. And H-1 visa didn't happen. So I was like, okay, this isn't the path for me. But I've learned some skills there. And then I did, because it was all about IT. H-1 visa, mane IT field mein jao, you'll get the H-1 visa. And I decided, okay, maybe I'll try IT, because that seems like a more stable, predictable future. It's sometimes, ambition then doesn't seem lucrative, right? It's about survival. So I got trained into QA automation, CRM and ERP systems. I tried my luck in H1 lottery again, and it didn't work out. It didn't get picked up. So I was like, okay, theek hai, let me reinvent myself and let's go back to business school. So I went to Cal State East Bay.
There you go.
Yeah, just like you. So I went to Cal State East Bay. I got enrolled myself into a business program. And I thought, okay, I'm reinventing my life, right, with whatever path that I want to. But life had its own design for me.
Yep. Yeah.
Motherhood happened. And at that point, I was like, I just want to take I just want to be involved in my child's growth, capture memories and everything. And I had a Sony Cyber Shot, the point and shoot camera, which I still preserve it because that's like a start, right? So I was just taking pictures. I was like, nahi yaar, I want beautiful pictures to hang on my wall, proudly, my family growing and everything. And that's when the birth of Nikon D60 happened. And it was just for fun, completely fun. There was no manifestation or thought about हाँ मुझे ये फील्ड में जाना है.
क्या बात है. Nice. One thing that I must say is, this very part of being resilient and following your self-belief, that speaks. I mean, with Archana's story, as now we know, she was striving, but then of course, there are factors which are not necessarily in your control, but that's when, there is something probably better or more deserving that is laid out, but you have to just keep going and follow the journey, I believe, right? And now I'm sure you are enjoying this phase of being a photographer. How do you feel like when you are when your identity is become that okay, Archana, she is awesome at clicking it and things.
It's the best compliment ever. It's the best feeling. Not because, the journey I've been through, the journey is just a part of it. It's what my clients, it's all them, right? Because if I'm thriving in this business and I'm continuing to keep my passion, it's because definitely, yes, the I matters.
Mm-hmm.
But what really matters more is whether your clients, did they love those pictures or not? Did they enjoy those pictures or not? And that's how it keeps coming, and that's how the growth happened for me. And today, yes, I feel very proud, not because of just that, but when I walk into my clients' homes and I see those pictures hanging on their walls, that's like the best compliment. None of the reviews, whatever reviews you give on Google or Yelp or anything, that is just the icing. But when you see those pictures on the walls, it's like that.
This. Awesome. That's beautiful. I think, everyone maybe strives to, live that moment, I'm sure. Like in any parts of career, wherever you are, right? So that is great that you're, already making a lot of such milestones. And I'm sure it's going to be countless going ahead. So talking about clients, right, as we make sure that the clients are happy with the work and everything, if you had to share, I wouldn't say a tip, but a note or a disclaimer when someone out there wants to choose a photographer, what are a few things, and maybe you can answer this not as a photographer, as a third person as well, that what are a few things that one should, maybe one or two things which someone should definitely make sure or consider that they are, accounted when you are giving a gig or a photo assignment to someone? Like what are a few things? Maybe ask them certain questions, or do you just go by the portfolio that they display, or what is it?
So I'll answer this question as a third person,
okay,
because the photographer's part comes in, and I don't want to be biased because I've been on the other side of it, right? And when I want pictures, right, it's not just a picture, it's the picture, right? And that's something that you want to hang on your walls for years to come. So there are certain questions that I always ask, even if it's my colleagues or anything. There are a few questions that I prefer asking, and it's also important that whether you're hiring me or any other photographer, right? I know I'm bringing my photography part over the photographer. But yes, the questions I would definitely look for is, what's your style? Like, and how consistent are you with your style? And when I say style, like, I want to see not just those Instagram pictures, right?
Okay.
I want to see a full gallery, right? Because that's where I know what is your style, whether it's lighting, emotion, storytelling. What is your style? Because, you know, if I'm taking a family picture, right, family portraits, the family dynamics are different, right? If it's just a couple, it's still the dynamics are different, right? So it's very important to see how you're capturing those dynamics, especially with little kids involved. They don't sit,
Right.
they are running,
Right.
How do you handle all of that, right? How do you take pictures? It's not always post pictures to main I can go walk into JCPenney and get my post pictures too. They have those set template kya na, you sit this way, sit that way, 5-6 pictures, and then you get to choose. I've been in that phase. When I had my son, I was like, yaar, mujhe Christmas cards chahiye, right? So from that perspective, when I walked in that room, it was just transactional, right? There's no feeling at ease and sinking into that pose or situation. And when you have a kid, they move a lot, right? And sometimes you're hugging them, or these are the moments that I also want to put them on the wall, right? I'm hugging my kid, or I'm kissing her, he's just throwing leaves, or he or she is throwing leaves, or playing with the leaves or flowers. These are some of those cute little moments that you wanna freeze them. So
amazing.
Yes, ask for what's your style. So that's one.
Yep.
And the other is I ask some for my own events. I don't do photos, right? So I do hire, and I like, okay, in case scenario,
Okay.
right? I mean, we all have what's your backup plan, right? In case.
That's very thoughtful. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like,
In
okay.
case, yeah. Because usually, it's a general tendency that you're optimistic that sab acha hi hoga, and it would be like, wow, I just can't wait to post them out on social media and stuff. But yeah,
Exactly.
that's very valid.
So in case scenarios, right? How do you as a photographer plan for such scenarios? Like, do you have backup SD cards? You have a backup, batteries? Of course, as photographers, we do plan for a lot of things that clients never get to see. I go way beyond that. But, how about backing up files? Like, how do you communicate, or things like that you don't anticipate? Like you said, we are very optimistic, right? I was like, sab ye dekh lega aur dekh legi, right? But it's still good to ask those questions, because it's not like you're putting the photographer in a spot, but you're helping the photographer ki yaar ye client ne pucha hai when I'm packing. It's like, isne pucha hai, to it's like a reminder. So that's how I take it. I don't take it as like a dart thrown at you. It's like, oh my God, this is a very tough client. It's like, I take it as a reminder. So that's another question I ask. It's like, do you have backups? Flash nahi kaam kar raha, to ek aur flash hai kya, external flash, right? So those things kind of help to put you at ease. And then you're more confident. Then you're like in the party, I'm like completely optimistic. And I'm like, isko sab pata hai, isne sab dekh liya hai. I can be bindas chill.
Yeah.
So that's another one. And here comes a huge question, which is, how do you make your clients feel relaxed?
Oh, that's very important. Yeah. Especially when I'm just like throwing out, if it is some important day, that's when you want to make sure that everything happens best. Like, at least the person that I am, in the back of my mind, there are like 10 different things that I'm worried.
Yes.
But for the picture, yeah, I mean, so that's so relevant. Yeah.
So yeah, how do you make your clients relax? And that's very key, because like you said, you have a big event. You're not gonna recreate that event, right? So it's the day. and you have a lot of things going on in your mind, and the least thing that you want to worry on your big day is about your photographer. You want to have a peace of mind. I trust this person. I don't have to worry. And that is where, the photographer's homework comes in. But sticking to the main question, how do you make them relax? The way to relax is you have that conversation. You ask the photographer, how do you make your clients relax, right? That's when the kind of answer they give you tells you clearly whether you should hire that photographer for your event or not. And that's your red flag or a green flag based on their answer.
Awesome. All right. So here's some gold piece of content. Believe me, if you are planning for your next big event and looking for hiring a photographer, there you go. The expert speaks out. One, what's your style of photography? Second, what's the backup plan in case something fails? And third, how do you make me as a client feel relaxed when I'm in the process of, getting clicked? So make sure that next time when you are looking for a photographer, you have those questions ready with you. So Archana, I am so glad I touched this question, because believe me, it's something that at least I personally learned. I never had a thing that, this is how you would probably look for a photographer. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you. And it's something that from being the outsider, I've learned those in the very tough ways. Because I've had photographers just come and shoot, but, I never felt comfortable in front of the camera. I mean, I'm still that person. I prefer to be behind the lens rather than being in front of the lens. But I've seen that if I'm not comfortable, how can I make my client feel comfortable? So, yeah.
Lovely. Awesome. Now, switching gears towards, the current times of the photography world. I believe even you would agree, like in the recent, maybe in the last whole decade, the technology advancement in the world of, equipments with photography has definitely come up. And, now everything is digital and so on and so forth. In the parallel, what I see is there has also been an exponential rise in the need to have photos. For example, Instagram or Facebook, or making sure that every moment becomes special. So with this kind of a exponential growth that's happening in the community of photographers, right, has that started giving, in both aspects, I would say, monetary gains as well as an assurance that the photography world as a professional is now getting even better, because now more opportunities are coming, more work is coming, and that's how things are progressing. So is that do you think that's a fact to say?
That is a fact to say. And yes, there are more photographers, and there's more events, there's more opportunities, and there's more competition too. Right? So how do you sustain that competition? And that's a challenge that many of us are facing through that. And it's not fun, but when and I'm a firm believer in building a network of like-minded photographers or videographers. See, because there are events happening. It's exponentially has grown. Everybody now, earlier, people were used to hire a photographer only for specific milestones. Now people are chill. They want to, celebrate, enjoy their life.
Yeah.
And when that's there, with growing events, there is growing photographers too, number of photographers. But how do you kind of monetize that, and how do you do that? So for that, it's important that you build a good network of photographers. It's not because, hey, I want this or that, but I believe in coming together and it's like helping each other. basically it's all about I help you, you help me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only that many number of events that you can cover in a day, right? But how about others, right? So I firmly believe in helping each other, bring the like-minded people who understand is like, hey, I got a gig, let me return the favor back. And I believe that that's how you grow.
Right. So you are more of a person who believes in being part of a ecosystem or a community, right? And just give us some insights, like at the moment, how are the communities, like how are they shaping up? And if let's say someone is watching out there who possibly has just started getting 1 or 2 gigs and wants to be a part of such type of communities, how can they approach and what's the way to go into?
Oh, that's a very beautiful question. And I have seen quite a few venture into this field because, many factors, like now the cameras are available, a basic starting camera, right? And anybody who has an eye for pictures, it's not the camera, it's the person who has the eye for taking pictures. And like I said, everybody has their own style. And for those who are budding out, starting out, my suggestion or advice to them is don't wait for the right moment.
Yeah.
Start before you're ready. I have this, if I have to, summarize the 4 strategies into one word, the journey that I've learned, I would summarize into one word called lens.
Okay. If you could.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah. Lens, basically, L, leverage your foundation. So leverage your foundation. What I mean by that is any skill, any experience that you've gained, any challenges that you've learned. For example, I don't have a background in photography. I'm completely from sales, right? But that whatever I've learned, the skills that I've learned, being in the marketing firm and IT, that gave me structure. And business gave me, IT gave me systems, business gave me structure, right? And motherhood gave me love. So whatever skills that you've learned, whatever challenges that you faced, leverage that. That's your foundation, right? So that's L for you. And E is basically embrace your happy accidents.
Wow.
So there's a story to it, but I'll come back to that story. And when I say embrace your happy accidents, you've heard this phrase, right? Opportunities arrive or knock at your door when you least expect. So don't close your doors at every opportunity. The least you will, know is you've gained some new skill, you've gained some experience, whatever that opportunity is. So don't say no to an opportunity, right? Embrace, and for me, my happy accident. So embrace it, go all in, head in. So that's E for you. And N is basically nurturing your relationships or networking.
Okay.
So basically, there's only that much when you start as a photographer, there's only that much when you go all alone. But when you build a network of like-minded people, and especially when you're budding a photographer, you want to find your mentor or another person who can, help you, walk you through that journey. Those are the people that you want to have in your life. So more than network, I would say nurture. That's why I said nurture first, because networking, you have a lot of networks, right? But you want to have those kind of people who push you, not pull you down. So nurture those relationships. And S, start before you're ready.
Love it.
So start before you're ready is basically don't think too much.
Right.
Just dive in with your head first, because life is beautiful, simple, and chaos. We create the chaos, so we have to navigate through the chaos. So basically in short, so these 4 principles, right? Just like I kind of related to the lens. The reason why I said lens is because lens brings clarity to a photo, and if you follow the same 4 principles, this lens will bring clarity to your path. even if it's uncertain.
Amazing. That's again some gold nuggets coming out. And I'm sure this comes from experience. I am pretty sure I can say that she has been through a journey where she has seen in reality things happening, and that's where, I guess that's the way I would put it, right?
Yeah. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So, Archana, now and you referred about mentoring. Do you have a mentor? And if someone is interested in seeking mentorship from you for photography, how can that happen? If you could let us know.
Go on a coffee date with Archana. But yes, on a serious note, definitely go on a coffee date with Archana. Because you've seen me, I talk a lot and I love sharing, because knowledge is something that is not meant to be kept. Knowledge is something that's out there for everybody to be accessible, and I'm a firm believer of that. What I know, if I can share that with one other person, and for me to see them rise and be successful in that brings me immense joy. So it's like, okay, I've helped somebody.
Yeah.
For me, mentor, I'm a self-taught photographer. But I do have a mentor, Ansel Adams. If you go to Yosemite, you would see his pictures. The first trip when I went.
Legend.
So here's another story for you. So when I went for the first trip to Yosemite, I was in awe of the nature, but I was awestruck when I saw the pictures. Seeing with your eye the vastness of Yosemite, the grandeur of Yosemite, it's very hard to capture the entire beauty. But when I've seen Ansel Adams kind of capture that in a picture, like you said, a picture speaks 1,000 words, right? I didn't know who Ansel Adams was, and when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is an amazing photo. And I looked at it like Ansel Adams, and I was like, no wonder. And so that he's been my mentor in many ways. Yosemite holds a very special place for me. That's where my interest has been grown very much into landscaping, and all the more reason to explore photography. But yes, that's my mentor, and that he's the mentor for many photographers. But if you want to mentor, and I have mentored quite a few photographers, male and female, and not just in photography industry, and also in event planning. I had a friend, is like, she wanted to venture out, and I was like, zyada soch mat yaar. I see you have a potential, right? You have a potential. Zyada mat soch. I know you can crack deal. You have it in you. And that's why, meeting in person is important for me. When you talk, you can see whether there's a true potential.
Yep.
And yes, I am there to walk through, and I've had another good photographer. She was starting out, and she was like, Archana, मैं तेरे घर आ जाऊँ? हाँ, मुझे I got this camera, but मुझे ये setting समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि कैसे कर दें. I was like, हाँ, आजा, कॉफी या चाय पिएगी, क्या prefer करेगी? Just come over anytime. So she sat with me, to understand the camera, the dynamics of it. And again, she was like, Archana, I landed my first gig. I was like, wow,
yeah,
congratulations.
Nice.
I'm like so happy for you. And then she came again, yeah, Archana, I got this external flash. इसको कैसे यूज करते हैं? I'm like, कोई बात नहीं, आ जाओ, चाय या कॉफी क्या भी. And the reason why I enjoy sharing or mentoring others, because I've learned the hard way. And जिंदगी इतना ही है. Full से, live your life to the fullest, but don't repeat the same mistakes. Learn from others' mistakes, learn from their experiences, go make new mistakes.
Beautiful. Very well said. So if someone is now approaching you for the mentorship, for the coffee date, as you said, what is a bare minimum kind of an expense that one can expect? Like, and kya lena chahiye, and if there is any specific brands you want to point out, so that just making someone's life easier.
Okay.
Like a starter kit.
Yeah. Starter kit. See, there you go. Starter kit. And don't get me started on brands.
Okay.
Because I am a Nikon person. So if you ask me, I'll say Nikon. But I've had my hand on Canon too. Again, it's not about what I say. You can rent out gears too from certain places. There are places where you can rent out. So before you invest, right, I would say rent out the camera. Try different ones. Don't just stick to one.
Okay.
Right? For me, I love Nikon and Canon, but that doesn't mean that you also have to love that. Right? It's not necessary. You might like, Sony or any other cameras, right? So there's plethora of information. What I can help you with is, once you've tried your hand on different camera brands and everything, I can help you narrow down, okay, kaun sa model chahiye, right? Do you want to go for a full flame or mirrorless now? They have that, right? And what kind of lens you want, the aperture, fixed lens, zoom lens. So I can help you narrow down that part for you.
Yeah.
So that becomes easier.
Okay. Awesome. I think I have a confession. And probably some of you who are already watching this episode of PTF, I'm sure even you must be thinking that in some way or the other, we are glad that someone's H1B didn't get picked up. Because you are so good at the various learnings that you're sharing. At the same time, you're so open yet humble to help someone get started into this. So
I'm glad too.
Right?
In many ways, now when I look back, I'm glad अच्छा हुआ कि वो H1 वीजा नहीं हुआ है. नहीं तो मेरा ये boring, no offense, to all those who are working very hard, hats off to you. But for me, 9 to 5 job is like, okay, it's like a mundane. It's like a survival. I won't say mundane, but it's like you're in a survival mode. And I was there. But then I realized that, there's more to me. I just don't want to live a survival mode life. I want to live on the edge, enjoying life.
Beautiful. Okay. And now speaking about life, now I would move away from the photography world, because I think this podcast has not only been some kind of a conversation around your journey, but I would probably also subtitle it as a masterclass. Yeah, but so what's coming up next? What are your things to look forward to, if you could share? And not necessarily around photography, but just in general, is there something new that you are aspiring to learn, or just any milestone trip or something?
Trips, okay. I love traveling. So I do have a bucket list to do adventurous things. I won't just fixate on traveling, but yes, there are a couple of bucket list things, right? The real Archana that very rarely you get to see me, and I can say a few, and I think I've also kind of checked few of the boxes. One was to get a tattoo.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, I have to get it. It's been an obsession for me. It's like, mujhe tattoo karna hai, right? And so that's that. And the other thing is go for skydiving, be on the adventure side. So that's the adventurous part, skydiving or bungee jumping. Like I said, live on the edge. But if you want to be on the more serious side of it,
okay.
I definitely want to, grow definitely in the photography. But apart from photography, I wanted to start a podcast.
No way. All right.
That's why
competition alert. Okay.
Yeah, so that has been on my mind since last year, because I want to do something more. There's so much knowledge that I want to share, right? And I've been thinking कि podcast start करते हैं, but somehow the logistics didn't play. Life with kids, family, when you have a family, the dynamics are different. But yes, that is something that is still on the plate, still on my mind to eventually land there. Hopefully give a talk about, my journey, because photography to me is not just pictures, right? Photography to me is problem solving, composure, how you bring composure. There's a lot of life lessons, real life lessons that, as a photographer that you get to see. So I want to, do a talk sometime. And when I saw yours, I was like, okay, let me, try it. PTF, okay, sounds interesting.
Awesome.
But yes, those are some milestones that I look forward to. And eventually, start a photography school around photography. I've mentored high school kids. I've taught photography classes, but I don't want to do the boring exposure, rule of thirds, the boring stuff.
By the books kind.
By the books kind. It's like, let's go for photo walks.
Oh, that's an interesting term.
Yeah.
That I guess I heard it for the first time. Let's go for a photo walk.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I just, again, big on community, right? Bring everybody together. So that's something that I want to start off. It doesn't have to be every week. Once a month, pick a theme, pick a place, and just go take pictures and see everybody's perspective, right? Each of us has a perspective. And I want to learn from others too, not just give bhashan.
Yeah.
But I also want to learn from others. And that's how, you grow. And that's one thing that I want to start off.
Awesome. If not a photographer, what would Archana be?
I would be that 9 to 5 wala marketing person, struggling with the daily hustle and bustle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm saying with...
Yes. We feel it. All right. So, wishing you all the very best for that community thing which you just mentioned, and the idea of your photo walk and things. And I so hope that, you guys, if you're enjoying this conversation and if you're interested in, just collaborating with Archana for any gig or probably, get some mentorship, definitely reach out. What would be a good way to reach out to you? Like through phone, text, or email, or Instagram?
Call. Or, text.
Perfect.
If you, don't see me answering the call, text. Because nowadays the spam calls have been on the rise. So if I want to know whether you're a genuine person, text me. Yeah. And I will call you.
I think it has been a very interesting conversation. I mean, I would really say that maybe necessarily it was not a structure that I had planned for this conversation, but it really went in I believe a good flow with a lot of insights and a lot of learnings and stuff. Probably a last question before you start planning your podcast. Yeah. No, I would want to see you get into a podcast for sure.
Thank you.
So the question is, if I secretly call, let's say 3 or 4 of your clients whom you have worked with in maybe like last couple of years, what is one word that they would refer to you as? Like, who is Archana as a photographer? Like, what kind? Any personality or any nature or tendency?
Tough question. Because I don't know what they are thinking. But if I guessed it right, they would say she's a very friendly person.
Sweet. Okay. That you sure are. I'm sure.
I'm choosing the safe answer.
Yeah, I see that. I assume if any of your past clients are watching, they might leave in the comment a real answer to this.
Oh yeah, please do. I would love to know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I know this is again my perception, right? I would love to know. So please do leave that. I want to learn more.
Fantastic. It was a pleasure hosting you. Any last notes that you would like to, conclude with for today's episode?
Thank you for having me here. And my only thing I think I would conclude is, whatever you do it with your full heart. Don't think twice. The moment you think twice, you are doubting yourself. So whether it's photography or any other business that you want to start, or any other, with a job or anything, whatever you do, go in head on. Don't think much. The least you get out of it is you learn something new.
Love it. Beautiful. All right. So with this, we come to another end of this fantastic conversation with Archana Rao, who has been a photographer, giving out so many gold nuggets of learnings. There's opportunity for any one of you to also collaborate or even seek mentorship from her. So definitely do approach. And with this, guys, I am super excited to the various personalities who are going to be featured on PTF Podcast, like Archana herself, and talk about the various worlds. Essentially, this is why I have started this journey of bringing in the spotlight of some hidden stories which have a lot to just share, whether it's knowledge, insight, or maybe an experience. So do stay tuned. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you click that button and subscribe to my channel. That's PTF Podcast. And this is your host Rohan, making sure that I bring in even more interesting and fun-loving and beautiful personalities shared across through this medium. This is your host Rohan, signing off from today's episode of Part-Time Funkar.